the final part of the dry-in before we put the metal panels on was this cricket. We left the old flat roof cricket until now. It had been leaking. You could see the residual tar in the flat area here on the cricket and where it was draining down. So we have bad plywood here, right on the end of this little baby valley. And then here's our cricket all the way up to the wall. And this cricket's pretty interesting because it comes around the building. So it goes that way, and then it comes around the whole tower here this way. You see, we have to cut all this crap out because it's heat applied against the wall here. And obviously, is a metal roof, all these wall flashings are going to get changed out to the metal wall flashings around the tower here. So that's what we're looking at today with this cricket, and then metal. Today is the day that the metal has come. You see the truck is here to shoot these things out on site. We've got our workbench down here to cut our metal pieces, prep all our metal. And here, here's the truck. Check that out. And there's our panels behind us all stacked up. Show you a closer look.
Budweiser umbrella when I first started doing this, and the boss man pulled up, and then he bought us golf fist umbrellas.
You see the tech that goes in to making these panels. The computer built in right here that's going to calibrate the size of the panels.
Here, and I can show
Gotta
you
protect it right
cool with
here.
the monitor too. So here is all the coil IDs. That's the good panels on the ground, and that's the waste out of the coil.
Oh, nice.
And then that's how many feet are on the ground right now, and then that's how much waste I have.
That's cool.
That's the cool part about these computers.
Yeah, otherwise you have to keep a chart on the side.
Well, I also have the same remaining
Yeah.
like cut list of here that is responding to there.
Yeah.
So like you can see it says done, and then I scroll down and it's all done, and then we're at right about here right now. That's where we're at out of
Nice.
the cut list.
See how the panels are shooting out of the machine? It cuts them at the right length. So the guys program the machine to spin them out and X amount of panels in however many feet. So what you do is you program the machine and say, hey, I need X amount of 20 whatever foot panels. Then it will keep popping out, see, and cut right at that length. And then so what you do is you just go by lengths. You say, okay, we need this many of that, this many of that, this many of that. You could not pick this thing up. That thing weighs so much money. When these coils are fully loaded, they weigh a ton. So you see, here's the coil truck. The metal sits on the coils, cranking out, and then here's the actual machine that is forming the panel and then cutting. You can see right here, coming in tight, and then it comes out of the machine as a striated panel. So you can see the striations and the 1.5 inch seams as it's coming out. And before, it's just a flat coil. There are no striations yet, and there are no seams. Pretty cool, huh? The guys call these the horses, the bench. The horses. Cutting our panels here. Here are the new ones coming out now. See it. Much easier to pull the panels up with the pulley like that instead of coming up and down the ladder every single time. 2 since we've had the metal. So the metal was delivered on Monday, and today is Wednesday morning. So we had one full day of work on Tuesday, and then a partial day this morning since the metal was delivered on site. And I'm going to show you how we're looking on the roof right now. And I'll also show you some video of the metal master himself cutting some of the pieces. You can see that the drip metal has now been installed all the way around the perimeters. Our bullnose drip has been installed on the perimeters. Here are some of our panels cut, ready to go up whenever they're ready. And our panels here on the ground, as mi amigo Rafa here, the metal master himself, is pre-cutting the panels to fit all of our pieces. Because you can see when the panels are delivered to us, they're all squared. Even though we have edges on here, valleys, whatever, all these edges, the panels all come squared, so everything has to be cut at angles, perfect angles, to meet the valleys, the hips, all of the details. And if you really want to see all of this in greater detail, because this is more of an overview video showing everything. If you want to see greater detail, step by step, of the metal re-roof process, check out my YouTube video, how to install a standing seam metal roof, and you will see on YouTube every phase, every step, every stage of the way to installing the metal roof. Here I'm showing more of a project on a commercial standpoint. Look at all these panels, what you're looking at when you're doing standing seam on commercial, where that home is a residential, so I really get into the nitty-gritty on every single piece of that project. You see the 2 lines are because he's tabbing it. He has to bend it. So you've got to do 1 line for the cut and then 1 line for the tab. Not easy to cut straight. This ain't a kindergarten cutting class. These things, it takes muscle, strong. And you see here, these sleeves he has, these are protect his wrists and his arms from getting cut by the metal. This is very, very sharp, especially when it's cut. So this will stop you from cutting your wrists open and going to the ER. These metal guards here on his wrists. So you can see now the cut on that line for the tab.
Go cover it, so there's no matter how that looks like, okay?
Yeah.
This is for the transition.
Yeah, so this is for the transition piece right here. But that's how you cut and tab the panel. And you can see the sealant here in the seam. So when it gets sent up, it's already ready for the guys to put on. You see this one's already tabbed on this back end here. I like this color, medium bronze, very nice color. I like this better than the mansard brown, which is more like, I don't know, different. This one's more natural. Now you can see the clamp on the end. Send the panel up, ready to be installed. It's the entire assembly line here. Prep panel on the ground with measurement, cut it, tab it, send it on up, and then install up top. today is Friday now of our, I guess it's the 4th week on the project. We had 2 weeks of demo, 1 week of just fascia replacement and painting, and then now you can see behind me we have metal on. On Monday the metal was delivered. We started installation about halfway through that day. Then we had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We did have some rain yesterday on Thursday. And then now today is Friday morning. So you can see this is roughly about 3.5 days, 3 days with the rain, I guess, work into this project. And you can see how everything is looking at our first building, what we call building 1 over here at the project. So you see these little pieces, the guys up there have to measure up there. Directions come down here on how to cut and bend the piece. It needs to be perfect since it's metal. Perfecto. Then up it goes to be installed right on the corner. You can see here the ridge cap panels. You say, oh, it's scuffed up. It's not scuffed. It's just plastic that's on there. The plastic is taken off at the end of the project. You see the cuts made for tabulation so that one panel can slide into the other one. Because you have overlaps on these panels, they're not just touching end to end, they feed into each other. So it's just for this one to slide into the next one, to slide into the next one on the ridge caps. And you can see how much metal waste we run into. And all this stuff is sharp. So when you cut all the panels, this is all waste that you run into. It's a lot of metal shards. This is one thing with metal roofing that I don't want people to get confused about. When tiles are delivered, if you're doing a tile roof, or when shingles are delivered when you're in a shingle roof, all you do is put them on. Shingles delivered to the roof, pop, 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 nail them in, and you're good to go. Tiles delivered to the roof, you've got your lines, foam, spray, 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 do your cuts, there you go. So you've got to cut your valleys and stuff like that on the tiles, but you can do that from the roof. Here, when you're doing a metal project, you have not just your installers on the roof putting the metal on, but you need your ground team here, and you have to have all your dimensions. You've got to do all of your cuts. You have to do all of your tabulations and your bends to pre-prep every single panel before it's sent up to the roof. So there's a lot of prep work just on the ground to prepare each of these panels before you shoot them up. And you have to make sure every cut is exact. You mess up one cut on a panel like this and it's going to cost hundreds of dollars. So that's why you have to make sure every cut is perfect. You have to do all this prep work on the ground. That's why we've got these big benches here with these guys working on the ground. The work on the ground is really where the metal masters are. Now the guys can be up top putting panels up there And that takes skill to put those in. You're drilling, you're putting clips, you're putting panels, you're putting it in. The detail work takes a lot of skill. So the guys that are doing the transition plates right now, the guys that are doing the wall flashings, that takes a lot of skill. But here on the ground, this is really what takes a ton of skill here. You've got to make sure every cut is perfect. You've got to draw on the panels what you're going to do. You have to tabulate. You have to prep every single panel and send it up. So it's very important that you understand with a metal roof, all this prep work that goes into each individual panel is a part of the project that you're paying for. It's not simply load the panels to the roof and just put some screws in and boom, boom, there we go. Nice and fast. That's not how it goes. There's a lot of prep work that goes into these panels before they even get sent up to the roof. Today we are over on building 2, perfecting the cut list. You can see me amigos here are measuring all the angles to make sure that we have the correct pieces. You kind of see our chart here, all our panels, how many panels and the lengths of the panel and the high point. So here's what we're looking at on perfecting the cut list so that we don't have a ton of metal waste on the project or that we don't have short panels. So it's important to make sure that you double check the measurements even then your satellite imaging, because there is a difference. So usually on the satellite imaging you'll get the panels a little bit long. So here the guys are getting perfect measurements so that we don't have a problem of panels that are too short or panels that are too long and we waste material. So that's what we're doing right now. As you see, we're also putting the metal on building 1. So building 1 behind me is 100% complete, just waiting for final inspection now, hence the ladder, and then after that the new gutters are going up. But we have all this metal again and all that metal back there because building 2 is huge. it's about double the size of building 1. So you can see all these panels, all those panels. I'm going to come around to the front side now and show you all the panels that we're going to be using now on building 2. Step is always putting the drip metal on and the valleys so we can pass the in progress inspection. Hey, there's building 1 finished. And one of the things we have to do is we have to make sure we get our flat sheets here, as we call them, flat sheets, in the cricket area, because this cricket area is not necessarily meant to have XFR on it. XFR is designed for high slope roofs, not low slope roofs. But we're covering this with metal, and we do have SAV under it, which is a flat roof system underneath the XFR. But I'd rather get this metal on this flat roof area first. So that's going to be happening pretty soon as we get these drip metals on around the entire building. You see the drip metal on here. Which is necessary for the final inspection, or for the in-progress inspection, not the final inspection. There's our tower for the sign too, so that one will also be coming soon. It's a windy day today, but you can see we're making some progress now on building number 2 here. I'll turn the camera around. We are doing a single lock system. So if you remember from my how to do a metal roof video and from where I did my metal roof in my house, you see the difference between a single lock and a double lock. But this is a single lock metal roof system. You can see our spacing here on the clips and fasteners is per high velocity hurricane zone code. So we're doing this via HVHZ, not via Florida building code. So we have increased spacing compared to what most other roofers are going to give you on their panels here in Palm Beach County. But you can see this was our in progress for our in progress inspection that passed, and we passed that inspection. Our drip metals are all attached. Something you have to do to pass your in progress inspection here at this municipality, which is Jupiter, city of Jupiter, is you have to have all of your drip metal down. You can see our valley metal is installed here with our valley clips. This valley is complete with everything installed and tabbed into the valley and bent back around the valley panel. I'm going to come to the bottom of this valley so you can see how this is all formed. From here, it is windy today. So here, we have this valley behind me with the short panels coming down into the valley clip, which is this white piece here. That's the valley clip. And the panels are going to come and bend around that and hem around that, just like they do on the drip metal, on the bullnose drip. And then right here, we have a wall flashing piece. So basically, I'm going to move this panel out of my way so I can get in here a little bit better. You can see right here, we have a piece of fascia missing that's out until we get this wall flashing metal in. We have our wall flashing metal piece here installed into the wall. And then we have a Z channel and our box flashing on the outside. That's gonna be a better finish than if you just use a flat piece of L metal and seal it with a caulk bead, which a lot of people do. So this is one of the details that if you're getting a metal roof done, you need to ask your contractor, hey, how are you gonna finish my walls? Are you gonna cut into the wall and install an actual piece of metal into the wall, or are you just planning to put an L-flashing metal and put a caulk bead? So this is a lot more expensive of a piece, but is a lot better finish and is a lot more sealed than just running an L-flashing up and a caulk bead on the wall. So just keep that in mind, that not all metal roofs are created equally, and you have to make sure that your installer is going to do it the right way, the way that you want for your roof to last the longest. So you can see right here, here's the back side of the Z-bar as he's boxing this return in. Here on this wall, you can see what it looks like finished on the outside. Here's the inside part as he's boxing it in. And then there's the butyl tape.
Seguimos pisando firme, compadre. Claro que sí veré, porque de amor nadie se muere. ¿Y qué pensó? Que por su amor me iba a morir, no, 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 no. Si se va una, llegan dos, yo no me pienso enloquecer. Hay que beber, hay que beber, hay que beber. Porque de ahora en adelante no sufriré por nadie, no, 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 no. Me volvieron mujeriego, bebedor y parrandero y acabaron con este amor. Porque de ahora en adelante no sufriré por nadie, no, 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 no. Y acabaron con este amor. En la vida hay que saber tres cosas: no rogarle a nadie, no llorar por nadie, no esperar nada de nadie. El que no estuvo conmigo en las malas, en las buenas se va. Al león no lo desvela lo que piensan las ovejas de él. Ay, voy para arriba concentrado, no distraigo cuando los perros ladran. No me detengo, sigo mi camino, sé para dónde voy, no me detengo. Finalmente me doy cuenta, tal vez demasiado tarde, que lo nuestro solo fue una mentira. No quiero volver a verte, eso sí lo tengo claro. Hoy te largas a la gran. Me das asco al enterarme que te vi, a perdida todito el corazón. Maldita la hora, maldita la hora y alguien que te conocí. Alguien que su Dios es la mentira y el placer, y que al mejor postor siempre se entrega sin dudar. Nunca me amaste, yo solo fui un cliente de tu lista nada más. Perdí todo mi tiempo, todo lo arriesgué, por esa gran mentira que me hiciste creer. Solo era uno más. Así es que, alzate, papá. Finalmente me doy cuenta, tal vez demasiado tarde, que lo nuestro solo fue una mentira. No quiero volver a ver, eso sí lo tengo claro, y hoy te largas a la gran. Me das asco al enterarme que te vi, a perdida todito el corazón, maldita la hora. Maldita la hora y el día en que te conocí. Alguien que su Dios es la mentira y el placer, y que al mejor postor siempre se entrega sin dudar. Dice, nunca me amaste, yo solo fui un cliente de tu lista nada más. Perdí todo mi tiempo, todo lo arriesgué, por esa gran mentira que me hiciste creer. Ay, quedó.
Voy a presentar a mis amigos. Chimba, parce. Hey, muchachos, ¿qué más? ¿Qué han hecho, pues? Les presento a mi novia, que aquí les había hablado. Hola, ¿me esto? ¿Qué?
It's boxing the seam right there, and it also has to tuck in here under the valley metal. Then now he's gonna have to put the cap piece on, like right there against the wall. That's the next step. So you can see how detailed these pieces are, how intricate one has to be on a metal roof. See how it comes all the way up right under the metal here? Right here, the Z-bar, and then here's the valley metal. And then that's gonna come right back on top and box it in, and then fascia back after. I'll show you what it looks like upon completion, but you can see how much time it takes just to do this one little piece to do it right and to get it installed for these little detail spots, these little returns.
De mi orgullo y tal vez fracasar, pero me queda que por ti todo intenté.
So you can see the next step was that he sealed that Z-bar in with caulking with their APS 500 sealant. And now he's getting ready to build the trim
Pero no me mires así.
for the inside.
Con todo respeto, esta canción no es para todos.
See, this is gonna go up the wall here. That's gonna be a set, what you call like a saddle flashing for the sidewall / end wall. See how it's bent to match?
Te compré ropa y bolsos de diseñador y unas gafas con
The
diamantes
backside has the hand there for it to slip around the
Te
Z-bar.
puse pechos, te puse nalgas y una cintura donde tú tenías llanta. Te compré más zapatos que para un 100 pies y pestañas largas negras y encrespadas, nariz bonita, respingadita, y para broncearte te metí en una máquina. Ay, y ahora resulta que te crees el más bello monumento. Fuiste una mala inversión y me arrepiento, pues tus palabras de amor arrastró el viento. Y ahora resulta que no estoy en el nivel que tú pensabas. Me dices eso y otras tantas pendejadas. Ahora resulta, muñequita, ahora resulta. Maldita puta, antes de mí tú no eres nada.
That's why you have to take the fascia out to build this.
Te compré un carro que ni sabes manejar y aparatos de esos con una manzana. Yo te dijo ya, tangas de
And there's going to be another piece to come around the side.
y hasta un perro del tamaño de una rata. Y ahora resulta que te crees el más bello monumento. Fuiste una mala inversión y me arrepiento, pues tus palabras de amor arrastró el viento. Y ahora resulta que no estoy en el nivel que tú pensabas. Me dices eso y otras tantas pendejadas. Y ahora resulta, muñequita, ahora resulta. Maldita puta, antes de mí tú no eras nada.
See how it fits in there. Tight fit.
Por todo hasta el final.
Next, you've got to rivet it in.
Y no lo entiendo. Si decías que tu amor podía con todo, porque hoy me dejas y decides no luchar por mí. Ay, porque prefieres el oro y los lujos de este mundo. Ay, y yo que te he entregado hasta lo que no tenía, como un imbécil te he entregado mi alma.
Here's the other side of the return. You can see boxed in right here. And under here is our butyl tape and a caulking underneath. And here's our Z-bar. So the back side of this is white. And this is going to clip on this piece here on the sidewall flashing piece. And this is an end wall flashing piece right here. So one thing to note, in some of the overhead shots, and especially early in the morning or when it's hot, like right now it's cool because we got the clouds, but when it's hot, you can see some of these lifting of the paper. The panel, the paper will lift at the plywood seams because this is a self-adhered paper direct to the deck, and there is no attic ventilation here. There are no vents. The only ventilation are in the soffits. So hot air is going to try to rise through the seams. So when it's really hot in the morning, when the sun is hitting, paper starts to bake, it's hot outside, there's no clouds, then you're gonna have warm air trying to escape through the plywood joints, which is why you see it may look like the paper is bubbled up. You don't have that effect right now because we've come back and run rollers and brooms through this whole building. So we don't have that effect right now because it's cooler out. But if it's hotter, and especially in the morning, then you might see that effect on the XFR. So this is something that you'll see in any self-adhered underlayment direct to the deck, which is a very popular install nowadays because you get a much better pull rating when you self-adhere your paper direct to the deck rather than putting anchor sheets in. And this XFR is a Class A UL listing, so you're getting a fire rating out of this, and it's also 80 mils thick, and this has the best wind pressures, the XFR, of any underlayment on the market, polyglass XFR. So even though you might see some air pockets, that's just natural expansion and contraction of hot air thermally expanding throughout the deck. So that's all that is. It's not like it's installed incorrectly. So we did roll over it as per manufacturer specifications and recommendations, so you don't have to worry about that. So you can see here our bender. There's a left bend and a right bend. And this is what's gonna bend our panels to the 90-degree single lock angle. So you're gonna just take the two and smash it together, and it's gonna give you your bend all the way down, hand crimped. So once these panels are bent together, they're not coming apart unless you cut. It's the only way you get these panels apart. Cut the seam, hand cut, because when they're bent together, this piece ain't going nowhere unless it blows off in one giant piece. And this is gonna be one huge piece if it blows off, because this roof is like 130 squares or whatever, so it's huge. Thanks for watching part 3 of our video here of this commercial re-roof. This is gonna be a 4-part video. So we're gonna end here as we're about a quarter of the way through this building right here, building number 2 on our list, and building 1 is past final inspection now at this point. So that's already past final inspection. This is past our in progress inspection. Like I said, we're probably roughly a quarter, 25% done with this building. And part 4 of the video will be us wrapping up some of the details, the metal details on the final buildings here, the last 2 buildings, and completion of the project. So look forward to that. But in the meantime, you can give us a call if you want to do a metal roof. If you like this beautiful medium bronze color or any of our other colors that you've seen in our videos, give us a call for Miami-Dade, Broward, and the Keys at 305 MIA Roof. For Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie counties, 561-559 Roof. And call either of those numbers if you want to get in touch with Perkins Construction for impact windows and doors, painting, restorations, concrete restoration, stucco restoration, siding, hardy board, interior restoration, renovation. Give us a call at Perkins Construction. And lastly, if you want to franchise with us, franchise at perkinsroofing.net. You can do roofing projects like this. I will show you the way. You can pick a location and start making some money and get to work outside in the beautiful rainy weather that we have here in the summer in Florida. And if you have any questions, hit us up, support at perkinsroofing.net. We are more than happy to help, and we will see you next time. Thank you for watching. Catch you later, everybody. Peace out.